Do you get tired?
Yeah,
Are you
yeah, for
hopeful?
sure. For sure I do, but I've got a pretty good like spiritual practice going that I renew almost every morning pretty well.
Which is what? Tell us.
I try to do something I named it 20 20 20. The 20 minutes of meditation, then I read 20 minutes, which is usually like something philosophical. I've been reading a lot of Buddhism, and then I write
Okay.
in my journal whatever nonsense comes out, and it provides me with a kind of clarity and peace of mind that I need to reset every day so that I don't go nuts, so that I don't have too much darkness. I don't deal with like depression or anything. I wouldn't want to even compare myself, but I have, I mean, like anybody else, I want to live a fulfilled life. And so that's my practice. And I'm selling it as hard as I can, especially to men.
I love that. When did that become part of your daily
My
practice?
wife left me, and then my daughter was having problems with me. And I realized that it was me.
What? Did I know you when your wife left you?
She came back.
Okay. All right. Good. You know what? That takes a lot. I'm watching Abbott Elementary, and there was a scene where Barbara, played by my friend Shirley Ralph, apologizes to one of the students. And he was like, no adult has ever done that.
Mm.
It's like it's not even a humbling. It's like an acknowledgement that I was wrong. That's what most people want to hear. I was wrong. I apologize. And, what you did was akin to that, I think. And it's a self-actualization I would hope for everybody.
What's one thing I've just really learned that's super important, again, especially for men, but it's not obviously gender exclusive. It's when someone says something to me that is triggering, offensive, just disrespectful. I, as you know, am a trained talker. So within a second, a short amount of time, I come back strong and hard and sharply and put you in your place. And that surprisingly doesn't work out great and human to human relationship, much less father to daughter, husband to wife. And so I had to kind of start to understand that I don't get to, and it's not helpful to react every time I'm triggered or disrespected or cut off in traffic or any of that.
Mm.
And when I started really learning, I read this through reading a lot of Pema Chodron's Taking the Leap specifically. When I started learning to let that moment go, I realized the next moment was so much better as a result. So my ego that needed to react because I was disrespected took a beat. And then it meant the next moment, hour, or day wasn't filled with anger and chaos and fighting. It was filled with joy and happiness just because I didn't need to have an emotional or any reaction to that moment, which was rightfully wrong. She or you were wrong to do it. It was wrong, but my reaction made everything so much worse. And that was such a huge lesson for me at 47.
Wow. I used to have a wicked temper, which was rooted in this, like, the same as you. Like, my clapback game is ferocious
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
nasty and brutal. I want you to cry. I
Mm.
want you to curl in a ball,
I
never
get it.
come up. Like, my
I get
my
it.
whole my whole process was, I'm going to make it so that you never think about saying anything or
Right.
doing anything again.
Right.
But it's almost like, so you can do that. And you wouldn't want to do that with people that you actually love, right? So these are people that you love, but it becomes such a habit that you're like, why am I acting this way? And then you realize I should love everybody. And just because somebody is being disrespectful, there's a way in which you can engage with them so that that doesn't happen anymore. Like, my thing is like, why? I'm going to ask, why are you being disrespectful? Now I'm going to ask. I'm not going to put you in your place and make you feel what I'm feeling or what you're trying to make me feel. I'm going to ask you why, who hurt you, who raised you. Were you raised to be this way? Like, I'm going to ask you some questions that are going to make you examine your life. And if you are still being disrespectful, then you lose the ability to communicate with me, which I think is really the most, the punishment I can give somebody is banishment. Right. So, but I love what you're talking about. I wish more of us, and I'm still working on that because in my
Yeah, I've
mind
been
still.
through. I just basically realized I had always have had a really tight relationship with my girls, and Ava's turning 18 tomorrow. They're amazing.
Wow.
They're amazing. They're both birds in
Wow.
cages that need to be set free, and I can't wait, as hard as it'll be. But that's exactly by design. But I like started having like a few arguments with her that I never had, and I realized it was the same thing. Like she was being wrong and doing things that were disrespectful, but my reactions to them were making everything worse. For us, for her, for me, they were eroding the future investment in my relationship with her, and trust and respect. And that to me is something that, to me, I worked so hard to create that trust, that respect and bond with my daughter her entire life, including, cutting my career in half to be with her. I invested everything I have. To be wealthy is to have time with that girl, now a woman. And to see that potentially be eroded by something that I could change by reacting differently was something I realized I needed to do, but didn't know how to do it. So in addition to just talking with people and a therapist and identifying problems, I began this practice, because the problem was, final point about it, which is so important for everybody to know, you can change today, but to be good again tomorrow, for me, I realized, and I think for a lot of people, this is the case, you have to have a practice where you literally sit and remind yourself who you want to be today. And I do that every day. And it sets my day and my intentions. And then when someone does disrespect me or trigger me or anything, I'm more ready. I'll never be perfect. I'm more ready literally to not react than to use the lethal weapon that I have in my voice and wit to destroy you and put you in your place, thus creating more damage as opposed to future investment in joy and love.
Mm, that is so beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I didn't know we were going to talk about that, Pete, Dominic, but
abolitionists.
no, we're going to get back to the abolitionists, but I'm in a 40-day, on a 40-day journey that I'm going to reset every 40 days. February 1st is the next 40-day period. Is the second that, every 40 days I'm examining the things that I want to get done. And it's, reset, build on it until the end of the year. And this is part of it, being better, being a better person, all of those things, and create the life. To be able to create the life you want to live, you first have to create yourself, the self that you want to be, the self that you're comfortable being with.
Systemic problems, you have to fix your own system. To live sustainably, you have to be able to sustain your own living. I just talked to reporter Emily Atkin about that, just dealing with depression and anxiety. She's a climate change reporter. She's trying to help advocate and educate to make systemic changes to fight the climate crisis, to adapt to it. And she's like, so worn out with her own work, Karen. She wrote this great piece about it, Resilience, that she was like, I need to be sustainable myself first, which is what you were saying. I'm sorry to interrupt, but that's what you were saying.